May we now invite Ms. Dora Dai, Director of Diversity and Inclusion Office, to talk about the information of diversity and inclusion. Ms. Dai, please.
Hi, everyone. Nick just mentioned that we should interact with international students and exchange, and I think it would be necessary to build welcoming, engaging, vibrant, and warm community here. So my office is actually working on diversity and inclusion at CHK. So maybe first, when we start, let's take a look at what diversity and inclusion means as CHK. And now I will show you a video that our provost will say about diversity and inclusion at CHK.
At one level, diversity simply means that things are different. People are different. But there's a deeper sense to diversity because it is also a value that we cherish. Just as biodiversity will make for a more wholesome natural environment, social diversity will also contribute to a more vibrant society. If we embrace diversity, we need to make sure that there is inclusion. Inclusion really means being open, being respectful, being patient, willing to listen, recognizing that everybody has something to contribute to the betterment not only of the university, but to society as a whole. In the university, we really have a responsibility to make sure that there are equal opportunities for all. A university is always an environment that should be conducive to the flourishing of different conceptions of the good life. Respect for diversity has always been a core value at CUHK, so in a sense, this is nothing new. What this new policy for diversity and inclusion does is to focus our attention on what needs to be not only safeguarded on campus, but in fact celebrated. In CUHK, all we have to do is to remember our university motto, 博文乐理博问乐来, through learning and temperance to virtue. Learning and proper conduct that exemplify humaneness, mutual respect, understanding, being considerate, these together form an integral whole that would help recognize and celebrate diversity. Well, we can look forward to a series of exciting events, both educational and cultural. And in particular, we would really like to engage as many students as possible. They will be our ambassadors. They will celebrate. They will share the reasons why diversity and inclusion are instrumental to a better society.
Diversity and inclusion.
विविधता तथा समावेशीकरण.
Разнообразие, интеграция.
Vividita or Samavish.
全班期的大家。
多元共融。
Diversität und Inklusion.
Rozmanitost a začlenenie.
Diversität und Inklusion.
Kusiana siana. 내구상간이사나.
Verschiedenheit und Einbezug.
다양성과 포용성.
Diversity and inclusion.
So you can see in the video at the end, all those are either our student or staff. So you can see that how diverse the CHK population is. It doesn't mean that CHK doesn't have any measure or policy provided for our students before. It's just that last year the university has taken a holistic approach to devise a diversity and inclusion policy, and the policy is in this website. I'm not going to talk about it because I don't have much time. So you can go online and have a look. Actually, the policy is based on CHK's culture and core values, openness, inclusivity, and civility. Also, the university does not tolerate any wrongful acts. So the policy also mentioned about how to handle any unlawful acts on campus. And every single one of you and us, has the responsibility to observe and abide by the policy. And so, what is unlawful act? The unlawful act is something that is against the anti-discrimination ordinances in Hong Kong. There are 4. One is they cover sex, race, family status, and disability. So let's take a look at, what if you violate or anyone violate the discrimination ordinance? That would be civil liability or even criminal consequences, because some of the behavior actually under criminal offense. We talk about anti-discrimination, so what about discrimination? What is discrimination? Discrimination is something that you do to somebody's sex, race, family status, or disability that probably, say for example, because of that, that person doesn't get the service or get access to some services. That is direct discrimination. So what about indirect discrimination? So we offer equal treatment to everyone, every single one of us, without special consideration of somebody's needs. So this is something that is called indirect discrimination. And you can see in here that 3 are offered the same treatment, but some of them actually cannot get access to see the game. So what we're talking about is equitable treatment, to allow somebody to have that service for, with special arrangement. This is if that somebody thinks that they are being under indirect discriminated, and that would be against the law. So other than discrimination, we need to talk about harassment. So you probably heard about sexual harassment, but other than sexual harassment, there will be race, disability, or even family status harassment. So harassment can be person to person, or creating a hostile or intimidating environment. So how do we know whether that is unlawful harassment? I mean, harassment is harassment. So how do you define it? There is a fine line there. So there is some sort of test that you can do or somebody is being harassed in a way that he or she doesn't know whether that is unlawful or whether there's something that you think that you need to attend to, that will be a subjective test. So if someone, certain acts that you will feel intimidated, humiliated, or uncomfortable, or even offended, that means that probably that's qualified that subjective test. So there's objective test. Objective test means that for a reasonable person, if they see that act and they see that the person being harassed that will be offended, intimidated, or humiliated, then probably that's harassment. So other than that, if somebody trying to victimize the complainant or those assisting the complaint, that is also against the law. So you probably need to understand that while you're on campus, it's not that there is a lot there. It's just that you need to know what happened or what to do if something unluckily or unfortunately happened to you, then you know what to do. And there is a role of bystander. What is bystander means is somebody, probably your friend, that happens to him or her, or that person, and then what should you do? So you can intervene. Intervene means can ask the harasser to stop, or you can help listen to the person being harassed to see what you can, at least listen to her story to make her feel supported, or even help her, other than emotional support, help her to ask for help, like going to the university for help. So how do you deal with discrimination and harassment? So you have to act early, make clear the discriminator or harasser that the behavior is not acceptable. Seek emotional support or counseling, and there is a counseling service on campus, and record the event. The more detailed, the better. So about the nature of behavior, the date, the time, location, and witnesses. If the behavior continues, or if you want somebody to help, then you can seek help from the university or outside bodies. There is, the university has a panel against discrimination and sexual harassment, and this is the hotline. Or you can go to the website and you can find more details. I really hope that, you can, at least today, in my session, you can get a couple of points that you know that what happened, if something unlucky happened, then you still know what to do. Other than that, as Provo said, we have a lot of promotional events on anti-discrimination or building a diverse and inclusive campus. In March, last March, we did some events like the stand-up comedy. We do have some workshops. We have pledging ceremony and training. And in the coming October, late October, we will organize Diversity Inclusion Week. And there is also an online game that offers souvenirs including Bluetooth speakers, 32 gigabytes USB. It's not difficult to get, so stay tuned and you will be able to see more information, to get more information. And it will probably on the notices and everywhere on campus, and you can see a lot of poster or flag all over the campus about diversity and inclusion. I really hope that you can join us to help build a warm, vibrant, and welcoming campus to every single one of you. Thank you very much.